What's going on, guys? It's your boy Andy Matrix, and you read that title? That is right, you read that title. Nintendo will leave Japan within the next 30 years. You're probably wondering why, and you're here to find out. Now, this is my prediction. Gotta be honest, this is my prediction based on the information that has been, that I have been getting. Well, that we have been getting over the last few like 5 years of Japan. Japan's future is not looking well, and their population is going down. And there's many reasons, right? There's many reasons why Nintendo's going to leave Japan. So look, we already know that Sony left Japan. Well, more specifically, the Sony PlayStation, right? The Sony gaming part of the company. They moved over to California, and now they're officially a crappy California company. They've made horrible decisions and just pushed people away from the brand.
Hello, this is Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! And make sure to subscribe to Andy Matrix's channel. Now on with the show.
That's just how it is, right? But what about Nintendo? Nintendo is all the rage. The Nintendo Switch is super successful. Everybody's excited for the Nintendo Switch 2, and Nintendo seems to have a pretty bright future ahead of it. So, why would they leave Japan? Japan is the home of Nintendo. It always has been the home of the Game Boy, the home of the Nintendo DS, all that stuff. So, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to the to Nintendo? Why are they leaving? Well, look, again, like I said, Japan has a grim future. You guys already know about the population crisis in Japan, and you could argue, oh, well, the same thing is happening in other countries. Yes, but if we don't have a good enough population in Japan within the next 3 decades, a lot of companies are going to start leaving because it's going to be unbeneficial, right? If they cannot serve the Japanese people like they used to, and they only serve, uh, you know, the Western audience, what's going to happen is that Nintendo is going to, they're going to start packing up. So look, let's go over a few articles, right? Let's go over some articles. So from the Japan Times, it says why half of Japan's cities are at risk of disappearing in 100 years, right? So the population of Japan is 120 million people, right? And it used to be, I think it used to be 125 million, 130 million, but it has gone down obviously in the past 20 years, right? It has gone down. And it used to be that companies like Nintendo, Sony PlayStation, Toyota, basically all these companies, because of the Japanese population, they were able to make so much money because they could sell to so many people. That's how it used to be. That was the idea, right? But that has changed. Population is going down, people are not reproducing, blah, 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 blah. Let's find out why. Okay, so in Japan, if you take a look at this article, it says IKEA houses why Japan has 9 million empty homes. So these 9 million empty homes are from the rural areas of Japan, basically the villages, the small towns, right? Japan used to be filled with just a bunch of like small towns, villages, and over the past 30 years, many people from the countryside in Japan, they have moved out of those areas and into the cities. Because if you want to find a good job, if you want resources, and a lot of people, they don't want to do the farming jobs, the farm work. They rather, go to the cities and live well, because nobody wants to live less comfortable. You know what I mean? Once you live a little bit comfortable, you try to be a little more comfortable. That's just how it is. So 9 million homes in Japan, all scattered throughout the countryside, just abandoned. You can actually buy one for about $5,000 if I'm not mistaken, right? Let's go ahead and look at our next article. It says Japan's population, 1 in 10 people now aged 80 or older. Wow. So look, the population in Japan, about, I say like 40% of the population is about 60 years old or older, right? That's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. They have a aging population and not reproducing enough. So let's see what else. Over here it says, in the Japan news, it says 1.1 million 20-year-olds in Japan, fewest in record. So if you guys didn't understand that title, it means that Japan, the population of people that are 20 years old, again, the population of people that are 20 years old in Japan is only 1.1 million. So they only have about 1 million people that are in their age range of 20. And I believe that the age for like people that are 18 probably much lower at this point. So it's an aging population, I tell you. This is troublesome. This is very concerning, very troubling. So look, why would Nintendo leave Japan? Nintendo will leave Japan just like Sony because there's not enough young people to sell to. People that are 50, 60 years old, they're not gonna buy video games. You know, they're gonna be busy doing other things. And a lot of them will not be able to retire. A lot of those people actually have to work. Right? So, you know, either they won't have the time to play, even if they do like video games at that age, or they just won't because older people just don't. You know? So this is very concerning. So what's going to happen when they see, okay, well, we're not selling to enough people, right? We don't have enough young people buying our products. So you have certain stores start to close down. A store over here closes down, a gaming store closes down over here. You know, certain businesses are going to start closing because, well, the population is going down. So we got to close because there's not enough people to buy our products. And then eventually, it's going to get to the point where, you know, Nintendo and other companies are going to be like, well, you know what? Most of our customers are overseas in America, in Canada, in Europe, in South America. So why don't we just pack up and go? Like, it's more beneficial for us to just move over there than to stay here in Japan. You know, it really sucks. I mean, this is really depressing, but what else are they supposed to do? You know, when they have an aging population and there's not enough young people young people that want to work and young people that want to consume these products, you know, they're going to leave. It's just the effects. That's just the effects of our modern world. And there's other countries that are going through this. I know Korea. Korea is producing so many good things, and at the same time, is going to be unsustainable. Right? I mean, the only global company that I say will probably not gonna move out of Korea is Samsung, because Samsung is stationed in Korea, but it's not really affected by the population because it sells so much overseas, right? South Korea makes, you know, they make music, the K-pop, and really good movies, all that stuff, right? But in Japan, right, they don't have enough workers, right? They don't have enough workers, so eventually Nintendo, you know, they're not going to be able to hire enough of the right people, so they're going to start asking for workers from overseas. You know, get 10, 20 Americans to work in our office, and then once they have like 50 to 100 employees from other countries, what's going to happen? They're going to go and start moving over. Or maybe they're going to close down their Japanese office, or they're just going to shrink it to the point where they just have a few employees there, and then just most of their employees going to be overseas. And this doesn't mean that, you know, Nintendo's going to go out of business, but what's going to happen is that it's just going to be an inconvenience to be in Japan. And I'm not saying this out of spite, like I don't like the Japanese. I'm not saying this to be negative, but I'm just saying it, looking at the data, looking at what's happening. This is very, very concerning. Is this going to change Nintendo as a company? Maybe. I think they're probably, it's Nintendo. Most likely they're going to keep their quality if it's still managed by the Japanese. But I say they're probably not going to change that much, honestly. But hey, this is just my analysis looking at the future of Japan. But whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. It's your boy Andy in the Matrix. Godspeed, baby.